Hey guys, this video will be CLL example solves. All scrambles are done white top and green front. So a couple of things I look for when I'm starting to make the first layer. I can look for solved blocks like this, or I can look for oppositely solved blocks such as this one. And not quite orange because these two are not opposite. So I'll just show a few of them you could do here and I'll decide on one after. So for red, this one and this one, if there's red top on this one, then you typically want to pair it up with its other piece before inserting, or insert this one first, because this is hard to deal with as the last corner. But what you could do is pair them up like this and then put them all in here at the end. Now we have a block here on blue as well. So for blue, we have a similar idea. These two are both on top. So you could pair these up first on top like this, and then put them all in here at the end. Now for yellow, what I'm talking about for opposite solved blocks, this doesn't work quite as well for a scramble like this one, but if this corner was a little easier to insert, so let's just go ahead with inserting it. So when you insert it, you end up with an opposite bottom, but as you're inserting it, what you can do is cancel into R2, B2, R2, or R2, F2, R2. So R2, B2, R2. And what that does is it turns opposite layer into a solved layer. So again, from this position, as you're about to insert the corner, what you would do is just go like that to cancel into R2, B2, R2. So I'll just finish off with the CLL in this solution. So here we have these two are opposite. This one is not. And what I do for this case is I know that this piece is going to move to the opposite spot. So if it's already solved, I'll have to do U2 at the end. Okay, I have an opposite blue layer here. So like these are opposite. So that means that I can do the opposite trick I was talking about. So here's the last blue piece. So I can insert that with L prime U2 L. So I'm gonna go L prime U2, and then instead of L, I'll cancel into L2 B2 L2. And then for this CLL, I recognize it from this angle that these two are the same and this one's opposite. And for a lot of CLLs, you just have to know which one they are. If you recognize it from this angle, you end up with the exact same sort of pattern. So from this angle, I already knew what it was going to be from this angle. So it's good to be able to recognize from multiple angles. In this case, how I predict the AUF at the end, which is the U-turn at the end, is that this one is going to go onto the side. So white will be on the right side. So I have to do U afterwards. All right, for this scramble, I see a lot of red here. That usually means red could be good, although it may not be. I'm just gonna take a look at the other sides. Yellow, I think, would be the best one. So what I can do is put this one in here with R prime, and then this one is solved wrong, but when it's solved wrong, that's fine. Usually there's a really quick way to solve one wrong one and the other one that's up here, no matter what its orientation is. But especially if its orientation is upwards like this, then what I can do is put this one in and then solve these two with this trick. So for this CLL, I'm going to have a slight pause to recognize that this is a soon OLL, and then if I only recognize from one angle, which is this, this, and this, which I can't see this one right now, I'd have to do U and then look at it and then pause again. So instead, I can recognize from another angle, which is this one, and this one. And I know that these two are opposite and this one is not, then it's this one. And then one note for this CLL is I know that this sticker is going to go over to here. And in fact, this happens for a lot of soon CLLs. This one goes here. So I know that there's no AUF because green matches green. So in this scramble, I'll be showing 3 different ways you can make the layer. And so I'm going to start with the blocks that I see, and then I'll do one less obvious one that's actually a little bit better, but harder to find. So for yellow, I noticed that this one can go, this one can go with this one back here. So I would put them together like that. And then if you have a layer with 2 solved and 1 not solved, usually you can still do this pretty quickly. And all you need is the last corner to be in the top layer. So all you have to do is insert it into where it should go, and then insert that one where it should go. All right, now if I did the scramble on white, what I notice about white is that these two are opposite. So this one can also come in here like that to make an almost fully opposite layer. So when you almost have a fully opposite layer, you don't want a white one on top like this because that is hard to insert. So I could just do U before inserting this, and that turns it into this case. All right, so now I have an almost fully opposite layer. And so as I insert this one, cancel into R2, B2, R2 to solve that layer. All right, and last first layer solution here is actually red. Red turns out I can make this one and this one, put them together like that. And I also have this one, which could go in here, but that wouldn't be solved. So instead I can do what I showed before, which is pair these two up like that, and then insert them like that. All right, then for the CLL, I know it soon. I recognize from this one, and this one. As long as I can see these 3 stickers, then I'll recognize with that. Only from this angle will I use these 3. But I notice that these two are the same, and this one is not opposite. So as I execute this algorithm, I should just take a glance at what this is in the front, and I know that from this algorithm, the blue here is going to stay at the front. So I have to do a UAUF to solve that. All right, so for scrambles like this where you don't see any blocks and also there's nothing else really obvious that I found in my first couple of seconds of looking, then what you can do is find a quick way to make blocks, such as this one. So just find ways you can attach colors together and see if the other color also attaches. If you can't come up with something like this, then it's probably just going to be a bad layer. But in this case, if I can attach these two, then I want to start with either yellow or red. And so I'm just going to look at which one is better. And I think red would be better in this case. So red, in this case, I could just insert this one into here, like that, and then insert this one into here. These two are the same. This one is opposite. And anytime that the top two are the same, I always know that my algorithm is going to bring that down to the front when I do the algorithm. So I know that yellow is going to end up on the front when I'm done. And that means that I need to do U2 to bring it to the back. So the algorithm goes like this. And then U2. So with EG, you don't have to make the first layer, you only have to make one side. So in this case, for white, it's looking almost really good, but we can insert this one here and it's not quite right. However, that's okay, we just insert this one into here. And that makes our first side. And then now we do the rest of the cube in just one algorithm. And so making this face only took 5 moves, and often that will be the case. And for 5 moves, it's a lot easier to predict what the last layer is going to be versus CLL, which takes more moves. For last layer, you recognize it the same way you would for CLL. So this is a TOLL, and these two are opposite. This one is not. And so you just do one algorithm that also solves the bottom at the same time. So CLL has 2 steps and EG also has 2 steps, but there's a difference because EG's first step is very short and sometimes you can predict what the second step is going to be. And if you can predict the last step of the solve, then essentially that means you've one-looked the solve. For CLL, that's often really hard to do in 15 seconds of inspection because the first layer can be really hard to plan. So if you want to learn the EG method, then check the description. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.